All right. Welcome to FU Gaming. This is FU Gaming on FU TV. We're going to be talking about a couple of different topics here. Let me just fix my microphone. It looks like it's going crazy. A little too loud, maybe. Okay, let me lower this. Okay. Just give me one moment. Bear with me. All right, so we got this guy, Dreamcast guy. I'm guessing he's some kind of troll. I'm seeing some of his videos online. Every single one of them is some kind of like seems like troll kind of titles. Before we get, I mean, because he's over here saying things like the Xbox is dead and all this other BS. I'm seeing a lot of his videos and just don't agree with them, people. I don't effing agree. All right. Well, before we get into that, we're gonna talk a little bit about GameSpot.com. It might as well just be called TrollSpot at this point. They're basically like a hipster outlet. They used to be one of the best, in my book, one of the best gaming channels on the internet. Now all they do is spread bullshit. And I'm guessing they get paid off by Sony and different companies in order to spread, I don't know, terrible opinions about different games. Ones that aren't on the Sony platform. So you go. You got Hellblade over here. As always, I would never get my reviews from GameSpot.com anymore. It's not a great idea to get any kind of reviews from them. Any kind of game that isn't a Sony game seems to usually get a terrible score. It doesn't matter how good the game is. It could be one of the best games ever, and they will give it a terrible score. Okay, let's see some more of this, because it's pretty impressive how they're always giving these shit scores. Here's IGN by comparison. This is the same game. It got a great, right? We're gonna see some other ones. This is a really funny one over here from a few years ago. This is GameSpot.com. This is Halo Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. Got an 8, right? Keep in mind this version of Uncharted, they stripped out all the online modes. They're all gone. They took out the co-op. They took out the 3D. All they did was simply put in they put 1080p in, and they give you 60 frames. So you spend about $50-$60 on 60 frames per second, and it gets an 8 for great because they stripped out all the features. Isn't that amazing? GameSpot.com, people. Let me see if I can show you another one. I think I might have another funny one over here. One more moment. Okay, here we go. This is The Last Guardian. This is a game that ran at sub 25 frames per second. The game ran like absolute garbage. It was just a puzzle game. They gave it a superb. It ran like absolute garbage. But it's on the PlayStation, people. So I guess, is that the difference? I remember this is also the same site that was hyping up 1080p as if it's the end-all, be-all. And then as soon as the Xbox Series X came out, they threw that under the bridge, right? They just brushed that right under the rug. And here you go with some more funny stuff about Hellblade here, right? Okay, let's zoom this in so I can actually read it. Look at these faces they're doing. This is ridiculous. It says Hellblade 2 graphics versus gameplay. Hellblade 2 is undeniably a technically amazing game. But is that enough to make it a good game? And as Hellblade 2 launch, divided reviews, while critics okay, so they're saying that the critics are they're praising the visuals and and they're talking about the audible personality or presentation. Sorry, I could barely see this shit. It's like microscopic on my screen. I probably should have zoomed this in before I started doing this. All right, it says the presentation, they were torn. It's saying they were torn on how engaging its gameplay was. So they're torn on how engaging the gameplay is, I'm guessing, right? Sorry, I could barely see the freaking thing, and the words are almost invisible. So they're torn on the gameplay, but they weren't torn on this gameplay. Let me show you this right here, so I can find it. Hopefully I can. Give me one moment, please. Damn, oh, here it is. They weren't torn on this gameplay now, were they? Not torn at all. GameSpot review of Death Stranding Director's Cut scored the game a 9 out of 10. Critics Justin Clark said, if nothing else, Death Stranding director's cut is the best excuse to return to the valley of the shadow of death and find the grim beauty waiting there. The game is dense, complex, and powerful. Keep in mind, this game was basically a walking simulator. This game was all about the walking, but they're going to talk about the gameplay of Hellblade, but not about this one where you literally just walk around the entire game, right? The power of love, the power of love and hope when faced with overwhelming adversity. Yeah, that's how you pronounce that, hopefully. So anything that's not on the... and they also gave Halo the Master Chief Collection a 6, but then gave Uncharted, which has everything stripped out, they gave it they gave it an 8. I mean, you notice it's always the same thing with GameSpot.com. It used to be a great site. Like I said, it used to be the best one on the internet, but not anymore. Not anymore. All right, so let's look at the state of play, people. The effing state of play. Now that we have that out of the way. Okay. Sorry, I'm retarded. What the hell? Remember to subscribe to FUT for the greatest channel on demand. It is pretty good, people. It's pretty good. It's just the best channel known to man. Just give me one moment. We're gonna look at. Give me one moment. This needs to be zoomed in. I can barely see the letters on it. Okay. See if I can actually read this. It's going to be tiny. I know it. All right. All right. So that's not even showing up. Isn't that great? Now I got to fix that too. Okay. Let me see where I can find this. Let's see if it's in the full screen. Okay. So it is in the full screen. Okay. I'm going to have to pull this into my other screen, people, because I can't even read it. It's too small. Okay, so I'm just sizing up the image right now. I probably should have done this before the show. See if you guys can see this. I got to open up another screen so you can actually see this one. Okay, maybe I should open 2 of these so now I can actually read it. Great. I don't know where my other screen is. One moment, please. Bear with me. All right, so I guess I'll make it full screen and zoom it all in so I can see if I can actually read this. Yeah, people, it's...
Big gamble.
All right, the text is way too small. I need to get this on the full screen so I can actually read the fucking thing. Give me 1 second. I just accidentally closed the video of the thing I opened. That's very annoying. So I gotta zoom this shit. Okay, let's see. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost effing there. That's the fanboys right there. That's the effing fanboys. All right, give me 1 minute while I fix my audio. Did I change something here? Yes, I did. Okay, now I'll get this right. Oh, Lord. Okay. All right, we're going to zoom this shit in. There you go. There you effing go, right? All right, so the PlayStation State of Play, May 2024. All the biggest PS5 announcements and games. All right, so what did they have at the show? A new game called Concord. Not Cumcord. You fucking perverts. All right, that looks sort of interesting. That's looks like it's a decent looking first person shooter. Reminds me of sort of like Shadowfall. Or Shadowrun, actually. Shadowrun, not Fall. It looked pretty good. I don't know if it's on other consoles. Don't know much about it. They're going to have to look into that. They're saying over here it's got big Guardians of the Galaxy energy. Beta and data confirmed. Or date, not data. I'm an idiot. All right, so God of War Ragnarok is coming to the PC. The people that want all the Sony games to be exclusive probably won't be too happy about that one, will they? Probably not. They're all going to PC, people. All of them. New Dynasty Warriors game, Dynasty Warriors Origin. It looks like it had an interesting metrosexual in the trailer. We got some game right here with a very Japanese anime-esque. I didn't remember this one. I think this was sort of a samurai kind of looking thing. Here's this a game. This was a VR game. I didn't really see much of this one, this Alien game. It's also another first-person game. Looks a lot like the last Alien game, the Alien Isolation. I don't know, with Marvel Rivals. I didn't see that one, actually. I think I did see it. It's like an overhead view game. Not very impressive looking. Okay, Where Winds Meet. I think I saw a little. Wasn't too impressive. It's like a samurai game, right? More hack and slash kind of stuff. Not too impressive. You got Until Dawn, which is it's a remake of the original game. It's just brought to the PlayStation 5. And they're probably going to give it to you for the low cost of $70. I mean, it's still the Decima engine. It's not a new engine. They just basically put Until Dawn on their more upgraded Decima, I guess. And they're going to charge you full price for it, most likely. And that comes out this year. It's confirmed for 2024. I'm going to assume October. But probably, maybe not October, because in October, Silent Hill 2 comes out, supposedly. Path of Exile, the 2. I don't know. I never played the first one. Not impressed. I'm not big into those overhead shooters. Silent Hill 2 remake supposedly come out in October. Looks okay. Reminds me a little bit of the new Resident Evil games. It has that kind of look to it. Monster Hunter looked pretty good graphically. I don't know what other systems it's coming to. I assume it's coming to PC. Looked pretty good, but it's coming out in 2025, people. All right. So a lot of the games they showed there were all coming out in 2025. Decent showing. Not amazed by it. Nothing too amazing. Nothing looking super next generation, but it's something. The big thing we learned is that most of these Sony games are going to the PC. You know, you got God of War on there. You have Ghost of Tsushima. I think that just came to PC. Give me 1 second while I fix my effing screen, please. Okay. Oh, there it is. It's actually fixed. Amazing. It just fixed itself. All right. Now we're going to be looking at Mr. What is this guy again? Dreamcast guy. Yeah, he has a... This guy always has some interesting hot takes. Let's listen to his great hot take of the Xbox, current state of the Xbox.
What's up, gamers? Dreamcast Guy here, and today we're talking about Xbox because a big new report was just released that Game Pass is making a final...
All right, people, remember, it's a big new report. We don't know where the report came from, but it is a big new report. I think it probably has something to do with Call of Duty. Let's see.
Big gamble. They're going to put Call of Duty into Game Pass this year, and it seems like this is probably going to raise the price of the service. We're going to get a big price increase for Game Pass, but additionally, I think this is the final...
I don't know where he gets that idea from. I don't know why they need to raise the service, but it probably would be smart. I mean, it is pretty cheap. I think it's like $10 a month. I think 15 or 20 would be probably the highest they can go with it. But I mean, they probably could go as high as 30, especially if they put these games out through Game Pass. They can just follow the cable TV model and charge you like $30. Even with that, you'd be saving money. But for me, I want to be able to buy my games. I don't want to have to go through Game Pass all the time, right? It's good to be able to own your games.
Experiments. This is their test to see if they can actually make Game Pass profitable before they just give up on gaming altogether. But let's talk about that, and let's take a look at the report. Hi, I hope you're having a great day. If you could, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already.
Oh my God, it's so pathetic that he would do that. I mean, it's right in the beginning of the video. Why'd you do that? Remember to subscribe to FUTV, people. It is the greatest channel on demand. Yeah, this dude is pathetic, man.
Okay, so here we go. Wall Street Journal has just published a report talking about the fact that...
so this is the big site, I think he just said, right?
Microsoft is going to release the next Call of Duty, which is rumored to be Black Ops 6, on Game Pass. And they're going to announce it at the Xbox Showcase coming up in June. But if you actually consider this, this is a very tough sell. This is a move that I think is going to either work very well or more likely it's going to totally explode in Microsoft's face. Microsoft plans a major shakeup of its video game sales strategy by releasing the coming installment of Call of Duty to its subscription service instead of the long-time lucrative approach of selling a game a la carte. Now, for the most part, I think we can all acknowledge that Call of Duty is making billions and billions of dollars. The entire reason for the Activision Blizzard deal in the first place was clearly the fact that Xbox wanted Call of Duty. They wanted access to the biggest gaming franchise on the planet. I mean,
all right, people, they didn't just get Call of Duty just to have it. They got it to do one of the big things they wanted to do with it was this. Let me show you. Because this guy's going to come out. He's going to have one of his silly hot takes. This is why they got Call of Duty. This article is from October of 2022. Look what it says. Sony imposes restrictions on Call of Duty's ability to be in Game Pass, Xbox claims, for a number of years. So they were trying to make it where Xbox, this was around the time they were trying to buy Activision, right around the beginning of that. This is what Xbox and Microsoft wanted it to do from the very beginning. They wanted to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. All right. All right, so let's listen to more of this.
not to be a Call of Duty hater. I mean, some of the games are good, but they're definitely extremely casual. There are people that go and buy Call of Duty.
Fun fact, most gamers are extremely casual.
Every single year. They just go and spend their cash on it back to back to back. And that upfront sales, that just generates so much income, followed by microtransactions and skins and season passes and map packs. So the fact that they're trying to remove
This guy sounds like he's got a mouth full of spit. He needs to swallow that or something.
That upfront pay, the fact that they're going to take something they just spent $70 billion on and put it out there essentially for free.
It's not for free, people. You have to pay for a Game Pass. Also, Game Pass is on the PC. Remember that. It's on the PC. It's on the Xbox, and they eventually want to move it onto the PlayStation and Nintendo consoles. So on the PC, for example, if you go on Steam right now, basically every Call of Duty game is up there around $60 to $70. So if you wanted to buy all the Call of Duty games, you would have to spend a pretty penny. I'm talking about hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get all of them. Now imagine just giving Xbox $10 and having access to all of them, right? So if your buddy's playing Cold War and you don't own that one, you can go, oh, well, I'll play it, and you jump on Cold War. It's all there. And this is an annual series, so you'll just be getting it every year. If you got your Game Pass, that's it. This is kind of what they're doing. It's all about ecosystems now going to the future. That's why all these people are all angry about, oh, well, it's not exclusive anymore. Well, it's going to be exclusive to Game Pass. And eventually what's going to end up happening, what I believe, is that you're going to be able to get this on the PlayStation, or so Microsoft is going to allow Sony to keep having it. But you're gonna have to download an application like Game Pass to your PlayStation console, your Sony console, or your PC, right? You're gonna have to download an app. It's the same for the cell phone as well, because this game will be able to be streamed to the cell phone. So you're gonna have to also get that app. So in order to play this game, you're gonna have to opt into an app, and you're gonna have to most likely pay for that app, obviously, right? You're gonna pay for it. So that's the model. You're going to get into an app, and this isn't a new model. They've been doing this for a while on the PC. You have, like, if you get like an Ubisoft game, right, or EA game, you have to sign into EA, into whatever EA's service is called. This is not new, and this is what Microsoft's going to do, and they're going to do this across whatever console or hardware allows them to, because Phil Spencer's already said it. He says in 10 years, Call of Duty is going to be pulled off the PlayStation. And I think if Sony doesn't adopt Game Pass, they're going to lose Call of Duty. They're going to have to make that decision. And it don't matter. A lot of people come out and they said this whole thing about how, oh, well, so Microsoft needs Sony. No, they don't. If they pull Call of Duty off of the PlayStation, they don't have to pay any fees to Sony. Like right now, they're paying some fees to put their software on the Sony console, right? Yes. In the future, possibly Sony will have to pay Microsoft to put Call of Duty on their console. Right? That's how it works. or they'll put Game Pass on there and it'll be locked into their ecosystem. So people will be playing it through Game Pass. All right. Okay.
I think this is, it is a move that I think they are going to instantly regret. Now, a lot of people are just sort of laughing at this because it is bizarre.
They're not going to regret it, people, because they're going to make way more money. Way more money. They're going to make more this way than they are just simply putting it on the PlayStation and acting like a third-party publisher. They're going to be basically having people pay by the month to play Call of Duty. That's what they're going to do. Every month, people are going to pop down money. And possibly they'll have different plans where you get all the other DLC will be packaged in there for maybe a higher fee, a monthly cost. They just want people to keep paying by the month. That's the new model they're going for. And again, this is going to be spread across the Nintendo consoles, the Sony consoles, the PC, and the cell phones. All of them. You're going to be streaming Call of Duty, probably all of them, on your cell phone, most likely.
Are that this is an announcement that seems almost a bit too late. Like, here's Paul Tassi, writer for Forbes, saying this. It was inevitable they do this. The question is whether it would happen this year or the next. They're way too down the rabbit hole, committed to Game Pass at this point to start making exceptions for first-party games, and this is one of the only remaining places that can drive new subs. People are, of course, all the replies are like, okay, Game Pass is about to be $25 a month. So, yeah, this is going to be a two-pronged dumpster fire.
Hey, people, look, they own, right now, Microsoft/Xbox owns Doom, Wolfenstein, Call of Duty. It's just a shit tons of games they own, all right? Now imagine if each one of these games were $70 a pop and they come out around the exact same time, right? Within a week of each other or the same day. Are you going to buy all 4 of those games? Call of Duty, Wolfenstein, the new Doom, all of those? Are you? I'm going to guess you're not going to. But what you're going to do possibly is if a Game Pass is $25 a month and you get to play all 5 of those games or 7 or 10 of those games, you're going to do it. So this is the whole point. They put all this content on there, and this is now where they're really starting to show the fruits, right? Because this is when the big new releases are coming out, like Doom. They're announcing the new Doom. I'll show it to you right now. They're saying this is going to come to the PlayStation, right? This is what I hear. This is in this report. It says it's coming to the PlayStation, right? New Medieval Doom reportedly coming to PS5 and Xbox will be announced in June. So this is probably going to be announced at the showcase that Microsoft's going to have next month. But keep in mind, we have no confirmation that this is actually coming out for the PS5. But if it is, I'm going to make a wild guess that it's coming out way after, possibly a year after the Xbox version. And even if it comes out at the same time as the PS5 version, it's going to be on Game Pass the same day. So you're going to be able to get it on Game Pass for what? For $10. On the PlayStation, you're going to get it for $70. All right? This is what's happening, people. The value's there.
Fire. Because they're definitely going to increase the price of Game Pass. I don't think this is deniable at all.
Even for $25, people, I think it's worth it.
But additionally, I think that internally, companies have sales metrics. They go, okay, we spent $300 million on advertising. We spent $200 million on development. So it needs to sell at least 10 million copies to break even. So this thing...
It doesn't need to sell 10 million copies, people. All it needs is to generate money every single month. And it could generate... These games, putting them on there, can generate money for years. A lot of times these physical... A lot of these releases, even though I'm completely against only digital games, but these games, they're gonna sell really well because they're just gonna generate money month after month after month after month for years, instead of having that small sales gap, that one window, which happens with a lot of these games. They get released and then they die out real quick. This is gonna have a large window, which is spanning, who knows, months, years. These games can generate money for a long time. These guys are just stuck in the past, the old model. This is the new subscription model. It's a lot like Netflix or cable TV. This is what they're going for. This actually makes more money. You ask the makers of World of Warcraft or any kind of online RPG. Like, how bad is this? This is a great model for making continuous money, and they're going to mix the DLC in with this probably as well These people always complaining about DLC, but the DLC is one of the ways that they're able to make these huge budget games. They're trying to generate more revenue.
Is going to bomb. I'm going to call it right now. You can clip it. I'm filming this at 10 a.m. on May 17th. This is about to be the lowest selling Call of Duty of all time. Now it's going to bump.
No shit. Right? No shit. Because lots of people are just going to be getting it on Game Pass and those sales are not counted. So obviously it's going to sell less because people are going to be getting Game Pass instead of buying the copy. The digital copy. They're not going to be buying the digital copy as much, and they're not going to be buying the physical copy as much because they're going to be throwing down $10 and getting this game. Guess what? I'm going to be doing that. Why? Because I already got Game Pass. All right. So this is just going to be packaged up with all the other titles I have.
Up some Game Pass numbers, which is kind of the point in a way. Game Pass is in a weird spot because I do think that
it's in a weird spot. No, it's in the spot it wanted to be from the very beginning. Like I told you, see, not this one. I got another one over here. They're in the spot they wanted to be back in October of 2022. This is part of their plan, people. This is what they always wanted to do. They're not in a weird spot.
people are beginning to miss the olden days. People are beginning to miss the Xbox 360 era or early PlayStation 4, where there was back-to-back good releases, but also there was always something to play. There was always something you could pick up for $50 or $60 or indie.
It's something you could pick up for $50 or $60. You can now get the new Call of Duty for $10 fucking dollars. Like, what is he talking about? What? I'm pretty sure parents are very happy about this, right? Damn, man, I wish I could go out and buy a game for $50 for my kid. Damn, $10, yeah.
Games for $20. And now, not only is everything $70, but a lot of stuff breaks broken, unfinished.
Actually, the $70 cost of these physical games incentivizes these streaming services or these Netflix-like services like this. It incentivizes it. So I predict in the future, games might actually be somewhere around $100 each. And that's going to push people into these monthly subscription services. That's probably where the model is going. That's intentional. They're going to do that intentionally, probably. I mean, Sony's already doing this. Look, they're selling games for $70. They had no reason to do that. They just did it. I don't know why people accepted it, but they did. Now they're selling you a fucking port of Until Dawn with almost nothing added, right? 60 frames. It's already 60 frames on the PS5. They're going to charge you $70. Why? Because it's got a couple of lighting effects in there. Come on, people.
With season passes filled with DLC on day one, and people are starting to go, okay, well, what is this going to do in the long run? Is Game Pass good for gaming or bad for gaming? Now, here's a good point. Currently,
it's good for gaming. For people who don't care about keeping the games, right? A lot of people, they'll actually buy a game, complete it, and then go and like bring it back to the store or sell it, right? That's cool. That's great. I love physical ownership. It's great for the industry and everything. But this actually just makes it easier for people to go out, get Game Pass, play the game, and then you're done with it. You beat it. You beat it. And then this has an online component, so you might want to keep playing it over and over again. And so now you spend less. Obviously, throughout the year, you're going to spend more on that title than you would otherwise. You know, if you just bought it straight out, it'd be $70 and that's it. Game Pass can be more than $70 a year, but you're getting all these other titles with it, right? Like I just said, you're getting the new Doom, you're getting the new Hellblade, you're getting the new Call of Duty, you're getting the new Wolfenstein. This is why they're buying all these studios, to build value for Game Pass, right? Because you're not going to be able to buy all these unless you're super hardcore and you're going to go out and spend the grand, right? But for a lot of people, they don't have that kind of money. They don't have that disposable income. So they're going to come and go on Game Pass and spend their $10 or $15, maybe $25. They're probably going to create a tiered system. Either way, this is all to drive people to Game Pass, right? Remember? How many times I got to show this? Look, this guy doesn't do any fucking research. He just talks out of his ass. Sorry, I had to say it. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Game Pass is just a standard two-tier system, and we don't know what tier of Game Pass this is going to be. As it currently exists, there's the core, which is pretty much just multiplayer, and then $17 a month for Game Pass Ultimate, which is where you get access to typical Game Pass. So that's basically, this is how you get the hundreds and hundreds of games, plus new games on day one. I think this price is...
Well, the Ultimate is the one I have. The Ultimate comes with all the PC games. The other one is the core. says their online console multiplayer, a catalog of over 25 games. I actually don't know the whole package. I think the 25, maybe there's more games on the $16.99 version. I have the $16.99 version because I play on PC and console. So I think, dudes, come on, people, $16.99 a month for the. I mean, there's a lot of value here. There really is. And if you don't like it, you just fucking unsubscribe, man. You just beat the game and unsubscribe. You're gonna be able. It's almost like rentals. Back in the day, we used to have rentals. Rental industry when it comes to games is kind of in the toilet. But I mean, $16, you could rent, basically beat like 5-6 games in that time. You got a whole month. And they even have you see their ultimate 14-day offer for $1. This is not bad.
Definitely going to go up. In fact, I even said that. I said, okay, so remember this tweet. Game price is about to go way high. I think they're going to increase it at least $4 or $5. People are like, oh, they're going to increase the price of PlayStation Plus. Okay, I don't know why this person is throwing that out. That's also stupid.
Yeah, that person, I mean, that may be true that they might bring up the price of PlayStation Plus. But guess what? This, like I said earlier, this is a war of the ecosystems. The PlayStation doesn't have the variety and quality of titles that Game Pass has and is going to have in the future. They're just going to keep building it. That's why they're buying all these studios. It's all for Game Pass.
PlayStation Plus, obviously, nobody should compare PlayStation Plus to Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass has a lot of good games. PlayStation Plus, whatever. I pay for premium, and I often regret it. But here's the thing. A lot of people are talking about this because as good as this will be in the short term, I think it's going to lead to a lot of bad things all at once. This is truly going to go down in the record books of
It's all bad. Everything's bad. It's all bad, everybody.
Xbox as a catastrophe in the long run. Like, maybe I'm being hyperbolic or overly bleak, but I mean, Xbox has made frequent sloppy mistakes. The whole thing with the Xbox One, telling people not to buy the Xbox One, forcing the Kinect and trying to make stuff like originally.
They made big mistakes as Xbox One no longer requires online checks. Use games policy same as Xbox 360. How is that a bad thing? They just changed their fucking policy to meet what the consumer wanted. That's great. Remember, people, to not let these people make everything digital. Vote with your dollar, people. Look at this. They actually went back on the policies. This guy's bringing up something from 2013 and it never happened. People are still harping on this. Keep in mind, Sony was trying to do this same thing. So why are we just pointing at the Xbox? They're just a business. They're trying to make money. They're trying to prevent piracy. This is why they had the online checks like that. No longer requires online checks. The online checks were to stop piracy. All right? But what we're getting in its place instead of this system is we're getting DRM and digital consoles. If you went out and you bought a digital console, you don't have a foot to stand on when it comes to this bullshit over here. Because you're already locked into a digital-only system, all right?
When the Xbox One was about to come out, it did not have used games. I guess people kind of forget that today. And ever since then, they've kind of been trying to keep up. Microsoft is now so far behind on console sales. I did a video yesterday that they're actually down 5-1. For every one Xbox that sells, 5 PS...
Go look up the amount of money they're making on that Xbox Live / Xbox Game Pass, because it doesn't matter, people. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon, and they're winning this game. This is the battle of the ecosystems. This is what this is, and Sony is losing it. You guys are very short-sighted. That's what it is. These guys are not.
5 sells, which is insane, and I think Game Pass, they are relying everything on this. If Microsoft can't figure out how to make Game Pass actually profitable, I think we're going to see the entire bubble pop. They're not going to keep spending hundreds of millions of dollars buying new games.
It's called an investment. It's called a gamble. This is what all companies do. They're gambling. There's nothing wrong with doing this. It shows they got some fucking balls. That's what they got.
Games, buying new studios.
All these studios are investments for the future. All right? It doesn't all have to happen right now. You got all these idiots online saying right now that, oh, look, if they cut Sony out, then they won't make the money back right away. But it's not about making it right away, people. And actually, if they kick Sony out within the next 3 to 4 years, all those Sony Call of Duty players will be forced to buy an Xbox. And Xbox owns Call of Duty. So if they don't want to buy an Xbox, maybe they'll jump on the PC to play Call of Duty. But guess who they're putting their money back in? Xbox pocket. Even if it don't matter what platform they go to, wherever they're playing Call of Duty, the money's going into Xbox's pocket. All right?
Paying to have good developers doing good work. I mean, if it's not lucrative, these companies exist to make a profit. And Game Pass is such a weird idea where
it's so weird. It's just like the cable TV model that's been happening for over 40, 50 years, right? 40 years. I'm pretty sure it's over 40 years the cable TV model has been around. This is not a weird idea, people. This is not a new idea.
Yes, on paper, hypothetically, it could work if you get, 50 million subscribers, 100 million subscribers. Like if enough people are paying you 10.
They're going to have PlayStation. They're going to have the Xbox subscribers. This is what they're going to have. It's an ecosystem, people. Remember, this ecosystem will be on the PlayStation. It'll be on the Nintendo. It'll be on the Xbox. It'll be on the PC. And it will be on the cell phones. This is where this is going to be all over the place.
$20 a month. It will.
It's also on Steam. It's also on Steam, but I'll just count it as a PC.
Pay off for those big projects. But if you're putting something like Call of Duty in, something that would give you instantly billions of dollars back, and just choosing not to accept that money, man, this is a very interesting gamble. I don't think it's going to work out, but everybody right now,
this fucking guy thinks nothing's going to work out. It's like, that's like his whole thing is the thing. Oh, it's never going to work. It's not going to work. That's not going to work. This ain't going to work. That ain't going to work. It's all negative all the time.
This is Charlie Intel. This is like a Call of Duty news Twitter account. And they said, with Xbox including Call of Duty to Game Pass, what do you think Microsoft does? Here, let's refresh this and make sure we get the full access to this poll. So, look at this. It currently has 5,000 votes in just the last 10 minutes. And it says here, they're definitely going to increase the price of Game Pass, put it only on Game Pass Ultimate, increase store bundles, no changes. Yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to increase the price of Game Pass. Look at this. They're going to...
So what? So fucking what? They're bringing up the quality. So why not bring it up, right? If HBO can charge you a shit ton of money, right? I mean, all these different streaming services are charging you all money, right? People are getting Disney Plus, fucking Netflix, and all these other services all at the same time to watch all this different content. If they're taking all these different games that each one of them are $70 a pop, and they're making it where you get discounts on them, because they're giving you discounts with the Ultimate. People are forgetting that. You can buy these games at discounted prices. Even though, I don't like... My one issue with this is I wish they gave you an option to buy a physical copy at a discounted price. If they had that, I'd be really into this. But they don't do that. They only let you do the digital copies. So that hurts, gaming retail, physical retail. Not a huge fan of that. But outside of that, there's a value here. There's a big value when it comes to the discounts of the titles. And, right off the bat, you're spending, $10 to play the game? I mean, that's great. And you're going to be able to get access to hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands of dollars worth of games for $10 a month.
And make it so the base level also has a higher cost, and they're going to gradual Game Pass increase over the next couple of years. Yeah, so this is one of the things I think is going to kill Game Pass the most.
Ridiculous.
I think they're going to jump it up to $20 a month here in the next 2 months. I think the price is going to go up.
Yeah, they're going to jump it up, and guess what? There's going to be so many people that are going to use it anyway. Why? Because they're going to jump it up to what? $20? And then you're going to go out and what? You're going to go, and like I said, I keep saying, you're going to have the new Doom. You're going to have the new Call of Duty. You're going to have the new Avowed. You're going to have the new Indiana Jones game. You're going to have the new Wolfenstein. You're going to have the new Fable game. You're going to have all these games, and you're not going to be able to buy all of them. So you're going to have to wait. I mean, if you want to spend $70 a pop right off the bat, you could go do that, right? Or you can go and spend $10 and play them all on Game Pass, or $15 or $20. You're going to play them all. It's not a bad deal, people. And this guy's just, it's all negative. It's all negative.
Up, and I genuinely believe that before Call of Duty comes out, there's going to be a second price increase. I do think that Game Pass is going to go up to $25 a month here within the next year, which sucks, but I think it's the only way that the weirdo executive people over at Microsoft can even fathom paying back a $70 billion acquisition.
Oh, they're such weirdos. They got this game that costs millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of dollars to develop. All these games. If you want these games to continue being high quality, then you're going to have to pay a higher price, right? It's going to have to go up. This isn't a huge jump. If all these games are going to stay at a high quality with high budgets, they have to go for these prices. Now, you don't have to buy these. You don't need to get Game Pass. No one is forcing you to get Game Pass. But this is a value for people who don't want to just spend the $70 on every single game. They want to be able to play everything and pay for it in increments, in small increments. Maybe they should have a system where you get Game Pass and you pay towards a game every month. You know, you add like an extra 10 on top of it and it goes towards one of these games and then you own it, right? That'd be a good system, I think. Then you could pay it off in increments. It's almost like credit through the console or whatever.
Now, the last tweet I wanted to look at is this one here from Jeff Grubb, because I do think
for people don't know, Xbox actually gives you credits. You know that? I recently bought I got like $80 or $100 from Xbox. I don't know how they do it, but they actually give you like credits. So you can go and buy games by just playing Xbox, by purchasing things and playing and all that. They give you credits and you can actually get stuff. Like I got an Xbox Live card. I think I got like $100 for just playing games. So that's pretty crazy.
This spells out the bleakness of the Xbox experiment. Putting Call of Duty on Game Pass and not launching it on the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, if that doesn't move the needle on getting people to adopt the Xbox as their chosen next-gen device, then that's it. This is the final hurrah of Xbox.
That's ridiculous, people. What this guy's saying is absolutely fucking ridiculous. These guys just spent almost $70 billion, and he's saying they're almost done. Well, obviously, they're invested in this Xbox. They're not playing around. What happened is Phil Spencer told the higher-ups that I'm going to need some fucking money. I want to make Xbox the biggest gaming platform in the world. And to do that, I'm going to need to make some big, big moves. And what did they do? They gave this guy over $100 billion, or possibly more than $200 billion, to buy all these studios and to make Game Pass this crazy like monster. And it's happening, people. This guy, he's talking all this trash, but everything they wanted to do, their big gamble, sorry people, wrong graphic. Everything they wanted to do is happening. And this is one of the biggest pieces to this puzzle. This is what they wanted to do the whole time. There's nothing shocking about this. This story is from 2022. This is going on 2 years, two years, right? Or over 2 years, right? This is from 2022. Back in October of 2022, Sony was trying to block them from bringing Call of Duty to Game Pass because they were trying to buy it. They don't want this. Why? Because the moment this game comes to the Xbox ecosystem, people are going to start flocking to the Xbox. If they don't do it this generation, they're going to do it in the next generation. And within the next couple of years after, or within the next generation, Call of Duty is going to be pulled from the PlayStation unless Sony allows Game Pass to be on the PlayStation. That's how it's going to work. And they're going to be making money month after month after month. This was always the plan with Game Pass.
I do think it's going to be bad for the industry when they inevitably implode.
Yeah, the only thing that's bad for the industry, maybe not for the whole industry, but for the consumer market, the small guy, you know, the mom and pop shop, they're the ones that are most hurt by this, because this means if you're getting Game Pass that you're not buying a physical copy. You're getting it directly from the developer and the publisher. It's going straight from them to you. So you're cutting out the small guy who used to sell it, you know, the mom and pop shop, even like the big companies like the GameSpots or GameStops and the Best Buys and those kind of guys. Those guys are getting cut out. That's where the industry gets hurt. This direct transfer from you to Xbox or the publishers and all them, right? that's actually strengthening the industry, because now they don't have that in between guy, right? The guy that takes some of the money, some of the fat off the top or whatever, right? Taking some of that. That's all going right to the developer and Microsoft. But again, the thing I don't like is that it's taken a lot of the culture out of it. The gaming culture is being lost because we're not meeting and having these midnight launches anymore and all that. We're not having these discussions at the game stores anymore. We're getting it directly from the services. So there's some downsides to this. There's a lot of them, but the way he's all doom and gloom about this, like this is going to destroy the industry, is ridiculous, because this is actually bringing more money into the creators. This is incentivizing them to possibly make higher quality stuff. There is downfalls. They could try to make shit stuff, but for the most part, the money's going right to them. They're actually making more money, not less. So this is not killing the industry.
Didn't go the Sega path and go fully third party, but it is just strange to see how
they're not going to do that, because they have royalty fees and all that. They make money by having a physical piece of hardware. They're not going to go 100% third party. But in the future, this is one of my fears, is that when these streaming becomes much better, they're going to try to go 100% streaming, and then that eliminates all piracy. There won't be piracy anymore at that point. And at that point, I'll be done with all this shit. I'll be playing all the old consoles at that point.
The purchasing of Activision Blizzard is going into the history books as the worst move they've made. I think it's going to make the money in the short term. I think they'll recover
which is ridiculous. No, they're not going to make money in the short term. They're going to make loads of money in the long term. This is a long-term plan, not a short-term plan. A short-term plan is putting it on the PlayStation and also making it not on Game Pass and then just selling it through physical. No, they're trying to get you to spend $15 a month, or like he said, $20 to $25 a month, maybe even $30, whatever they can get. They're going to try to get the money back through that. This is not a short-term plan. This has always been a long-term plan. This is why they were talking about putting Call of Duty on Game Pass 2 years ago. This was always their plan. This is why they bought Activision.
Their losses in the long term, but if you think that Xbox, as it currently exists, is going to continue, you're delusional. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts, and thanks for watching this video. Hey,
it's not gonna exist as it currently is. It's gonna expand. That's what it's gonna do. It's gonna get bigger. It's an ecosystem. It's trying to get on everything, like I keep saying.
Actually gonna do an outtake. I never do outtakes at the end of my videos anymore, but let me show you an outtake. The first time I tried to film this video, my microphone collapsed. The first time I was...
All right, we don't give a shit, all right? We don't care, all right? All right, so there's some of that guy's hot takes. Not too into them. We're going to watch one other thing. There's this guy online. I think his name is Crap Gamer. He's got some pretty interesting hot takes. We're going to look at some of his shit. Give me 1 second, people, please. But remember to subscribe to FUTV. And we're going to be playing games on this channel very soon. I got a bunch of stuff planned for it. I just keep going and going and going. We just keep going and going and fucking going. You know that? All right, I'm going to show you guys our chalkboard. We're not done playing games on here, people. All right, I got Mike Tyson's Punch-Out 80%, Kung Fu 45%, Condemned 20%, Killer 7. I think I got a little bit past a little bit into the first level of the game, but it's marked as 0. We got Killzone Shadowfall, which I think I finished the intro, the first part of the game, and not the first level. I got real close, but I had the highest difficulty level, people. It's not easy. I'm going to get back into it. I might play it at slightly lower difficulty because I think it's kind of cheap on that really high one. We beat Never Ending Nightmares, but I didn't put that in there. But we beat it. I beat it on the channel. I'm going to beat some other stuff. I'm going to be playing Gunsmoke soon. This is the music you hear right now. And also, best COD player in the world, 100% of that, people. I'm going to be playing some Call of Duty on the channel every once in a while. I do enjoy playing Call of Duty, so I'm going to be doing it. See? I can read. All right, people, so we're going to be watching a little bit of this Crap Gamer guy. He's one of those people that's obsessed with, oh, whoa, man, it's not exclusive to the Xbox. The Xbox is fucking dead. All right, give me 1 second, but remember to subscribe to FGTV. It is the greatest channel known to man. I got to keep saying it over and over and over and over and over again. Give me one moment, people. All right, people, you're watching FUTV. This is FU Gaming. I'm gonna go check the chat right now and see if anybody's is hanging out over there. Well, anyway, this is gonna be on later. Hopefully, this gets some traction. I need to get some traction on this channel, people. This is the gaming segment of our variety channel. We're gonna be doing a new show real soon, people. It's called Trust the Science. I've been working really hard on it. That's coming real soon. It might even come tomorrow. It's gonna be coming in within the next few days. All right, this should be pretty cool. It's a show about the just some beliefs people got, you know, the trust of the science. People what do they call it again? Where people worship science, basically. I forget what it's called. Ah, fucking idiot. What is it called? Let me see. The worship of science. The worship of science. I'm pretty sure. Okay, I don't know what you would put on there. I'm looking for it. Nah, whatever. It popped up Christian Science and all that. I've got the word where people worship science, but it's all about that. It's about the people that worship science. It's gonna be about that, people, and it's coming real soon. It's coming real effing soon. Okay. All right, we found crap guy. All right, let's go here. I actually used to watch Crap Gamer when I was a pure. Wait, sorry. I used to watch some of his stuff, but it became kind of annoying. Let's see. Give me 1 second. Hopefully this shows up in there. Okay, there you go. There's Crappy. I'm going to zoom this in because I can't see anything. That's why I got this other screen, but this other screen actually is vertical. So I can't use it for my purposes. Okay. So we're going to go through Crap. We're going to lower this a little bit first. Okay, and we're going to look for some of this interesting stuff this guy has to say. Reaction to State of Play. That sucked. He says it sucked. Millions switch to Xbox. This guy's always flip-flopping. He hates Xbox 1 minute, the next he loves it. Okay, Sony is finished. Xbox update kills Sony. Why would the update kill Sony? I don't know. Millions leaving Xbox for PlayStation 5. I mean, it could happen. Definitely with the Call of Duty stuff. I mean, this is their plan, right? To get everybody onto the Xbox ecosystem. I think this Call of Duty stuff alone will get people to jump to at least an Xbox Xbox Series S. Closing up shop. So you got over here, Microsoft closing down another studio. Xbox fans are, does that say saying? Yes, saying. Okay, I'm looking for, he had some interesting stuff. He always has like doom and gloom, but he's really like all about, in a lot of ways, it's very dishonest. He makes these headlines and they're like, this is why I don't even click on his videos. A lot of it's just basically clickbait. It says the Hellblade 2 Xbox reviews are terrible. The media hates Microsoft. Well, I would agree with that. They definitely are. But they mostly don't hate Microsoft. What they love is possibly love Sony's money. I think they have Sony has certain deals with these companies like Eurogamer and that kind of thing. I mean, like I told you guys earlier, for years when the original Xbox One came out, it could not do 1080p very well. So what these sites did is they and the PlayStation 4 could do 1080p very well. Almost every game was 1080p. So what they did is they harped on 1080p constantly. Every fucking story they had on the sites were all about 1080p. 1080p. Oh, PlayStation 4 could do 1080p. Oh, Xbox, that's not true 1080p. And they're just like counting pixels all the time. This is what Digital Foundry did. And then Microsoft said, you know, Xbox was like, oh, well, these fucking idiots are obsessed with resolution. So what they did is they put out the system called the Xbox One X, and boom, it just all that talk disappeared. Why? Because the Xbox One X could do 4K, native 4K, where the PlayStation 4 and the PS4 Pro couldn't do jack shit. They couldn't get anywhere near 4K. Everything was checkerboard this and checkerboard that. It was all fake resolution, fake 4K. And for anybody who knows resolution, dude, no checkerboard fucking 4K doesn't look anything as good as true 4K. It's not as sharp. The colors are not as good. It just does not look as good. And that checkerboard shit looks really, it doesn't look good. It looks like very like, it looks good in a static image, like if you stand still, but if you start moving your camera around in the game, it has this smudgy kind of blurred out look to it. It doesn't look very good. Like if I play Tomb Raider when my PC wasn't that great, I used to play Tomb Raider with the checkerboard feature, right? And I was like, now I switched to 4K. I'm like, nah, yeah, that's why they have 4K. They have checkerboard mode and they have native. And the native looks really good. The native looks better than the checkerboard shit. So this is what they were doing on there. And, you know, Digital Foundry pointed it out when Xbox was doing checkerboard 1080p, they were all like, oh, checkerboard 1080p. But the moment that Sony, when the Xbox One X came out, right? The Xbox One X, they started saying, oh yeah, that checkerboard 4K, that looks just as good as the real deal. All right, so in that case, that checkerboard shit looks just as good as the real deal, but checkerboard 1080p, nah, bro, that don't look the same at all. I mean, you're talking about a huge difference, people. These games are like 1200p or something on the PlayStation 4 Pro. And they're jumping all the way to 4K somehow. Now they look just as good. But when it comes to the Xbox, the 1080p, I mean, it was a very small gap. It wasn't a big difference in pixels. But, you know, come on, people. Come on, man. It was bullshit. They were going, GameSpot and Eurogamer and all them were siding with the Sony, you know. Xbox update kill Sony. I don't know. I thought he said something about, what I want to see is I want to see something where he's angry about all the, you know, cross-platform or games from the Xbox being on PlayStation. Okay, well, let's see this one. This looks like this might be something around the lines of what I'm looking for. Now we're gonna cut that off. We're gonna go into the actual video. Let's look at this. Crab Gamer's got an intro. Oh, that's cool.
So I think I'm very interested in seeing how people kind of take this news and how they kind of work it, whether or not they're okay with it. I feel like that's going to be a very interesting subject. One of the main things that I feel that Microsoft is banking on is that people are going to stick with Xbox no matter what. And I feel like that's probably not going to be the actual case for a lot of people. And, you know, it's unfortunate that this kind of stuff happens the way that it does in the business side of it. And, you know, I just feel depressed by the entire thing, to be quite honest.
This guy is ridiculous. He feels depressed. Dude, come on. They're games. They're just games, people. Microsoft owns them and Sony owns their games, and Sony's going in the same direction. They're already doing it, people. They have an ecosystem. Sony is currently selling their games on the PC. And it ain't going to be too far-fetched if Microsoft the Xbox becomes the dominant console in the industry, Sony's going to be putting their games on the Xbox. They're most likely going to be doing that. But the thing is, what they have to do is they have to bring some value to it, you know? If they put out a high-end console and it plays Game Pass, and people are into the ecosystem of the Game Pass, and they purchase their games on Game Pass, they're still going to be buying the next Xbox. If you're a console gamer, you're going to buy the next Xbox if all your games are purchased in that ecosystem, right? Also, it's important that they keep the physical as well. You can go and pop your old Xbox games in there. All of it, people. People are still going to stick to those consoles because the ecosystem moves with it. So it's the same value, right? They give you that high quality, that a piece of hardware that is cheaper than buying a piece of hardware on the PC, right? You're still going to be getting a great piece of hardware for a lower price than you would if you built it on a PC. So that's great, and it's going to be in the same ecosystem. So people will still buy the consoles, right? But if they're using the Game Pass, they're going to be going through the PlayStation and they're going to be playing certain games. Obviously, they're not going to get the whole catalog of games. Like right now, Xbox is trying to put their old games, going all the way back to the original Xbox. They're going to be not going to be putting that on a PlayStation, all right, or this other stuff. Not even like a PC or whatever. But if you're on the PlayStation, you might actually be getting Halo. You might be getting Gears of War. A lot of these games, right? A lot of games that are Xbox, but you're going to have to sign into that Xbox ecosystem. I'm going to make a wild guess and say they're not going to sell them physically on the PlayStation, but they're gonna let you download them to the console. Probably on the Xbox, the Xbox console, you're gonna be able to most likely buy them physically, and you might even just be getting more of those Xbox games. I don't think they're going to be pushing all their software on the PlayStation. I don't think so. They're going to do certain things. Watch, you see.
Honest about everything that's kind of going on, but so we knew that there had to be another Doom game being worked on. It's been a while now. Now it looks like the next Doom game has kind of leaked out, and this was the main thing that I was worried about. I said, now here's the thing: when they come out with a new game, and this game sounds like it's going to be dope, right? And I know what some people might go, well, you're still going to be able to play it on Xbox, and you're going to be able to play it on Game Pass, blah blah blah. Like, the Game Pass stuff doesn't really matter to me. It's a rental service. It's not really like this huge reason to own an Xbox, right? I'm sorry, it's just not.
He says it's a rental service, but actually you get lower costs on games, lower prices on games. You also get access to games that are $70. And more. I mean, it's not just a simple rental service. You would never be able to go to a video store and spend $15 and have access to 100 different titles. That's not a regular rental service. I don't know of any like that, unless it was like GameFly or whatever. But you'd have to keep flying. You'd have to keep sending the disc back and getting it back to you, and sending it to them and getting it back. I don't know how their stuff worked, but there was never a rental service that was as good as this. No.
It's so weird for me to see people trying to use that as a flex. Like, Xbox needs exclusives. So it's been 4 years since Doom.
They don't need exclusives, people. They don't. This is about ecosystems. This is about money. Why the fuck does this guy care about exclusives? He's not making money on any of this stuff. These guys are about making money. So if making the games exclusive makes them money, then they're going to do that. But what they're trying to do is make more money. Making them exclusive was not making them enough money. They want to make more. This is why they're branching out and they're putting it everywhere.
Eternal was a thing, and id Software is showing no signs of slowing down. Separate reports from reliable sources
this guy's flex is him having the game exclusive to the console that he owns, so that he can go and shit in everyone else and say, ha ha ha, the team that I like has a better fucking ball player, right? That's what he wants to say. Oh, we got a better ball player. But this company is about making money. So that whole little thing you had with I'm cool because I have, Halo and all that, that's coming to an end. And I understand a lot of these dudes like to bust your balls and say Halo's trash. And all those Xbox games are trash. And they have to tell themselves that because they don't own the Xbox. They can only afford one of these consoles. But for the real dudes who love gaming, they would buy all the consoles. So this was never really an argument with people like me. We owned all of them, right? Now this whole thing is about just making more money. And they're going to get around. These guys are not stupid. They know how to make money,
Insider Gaming and others has given a glimpse of where Doom is headed next. We're about to get Medieval, apparently, and Windows Central is corroborating.
People, what's going to end up happening most likely is there's going to be, people are going to be more connected when it comes to consoles. We're going to be playing the same games, possibly a lot of the same games, but we want to see these other companies come out and do this. We want to see Sony put some of their games on the Xbox or whatever. They're putting them on the PC right now. We're going to see what happens. I think Sony sees what Microsoft is doing. They see that they're getting money from doing this. This whole keep it only on one console model for some companies is not the best. Microsoft's trying to make more money. It could be because they're not selling as many consoles as Sony is, right? But they're trying to make it where they don't have to sell as much consoles. Even if they don't sell 1 trillion consoles, they can still make their investments back and make 10 times more money, right? This is a very safe bet for them, and it allows them to build some honking crazy new consoles in the future because they don't have to worry as much about making a high budget game and, well, oh shit, we only have 10 million consoles sold, right? So they gotta worry about, should we make the budget for this game this big? Because if we do, we're not going to make back our investment, people. But now if they spread it out, it allows them to build even bigger, more expensive titles, right?
Reading this report that Doom Dark Ages, although he didn't have the name, multiple sources confirmed over the past few weeks that Doom is heading to the Xbox Showcase in 2024, and the working title was Doom Year Zero. originally leaked via the FTC last summer. And it seems that Doom: The Dark Ages will be a prequel of sorts, where Doom director Hugo Martin has remarked on previous streams that he desires to slow Doom down a bit to make you feel like you're a hawking monster truck rather than a deadly race car. It would fit the theme of Doom heading to the past, before the Doomslayer acquired many of his modern powers and weapons. Although the Night Sentinels still had the access to guns and things of this nature, albeit with a traditional knightly twist, but perhaps the setting will be before Doomslayer even encountered the Night Sentinels as well. With the modern Doom games expanding the lore exponentially to other planets and races, the march of hell across the cosmos could potentially go anywhere to any time period. Doomslayer will be there to rip and tear, of course. It's also coming to PlayStation.
I'm going to guess this is where he's going to cry. The thing is, I think Microsoft, they're not going to put all their games on PlayStation, but they maybe put some of them. This game, I'm going to guess, is going to have an online component, and we're going to be playing with Sony guys. That's never happened ever with the Doom game before. I don't think they've ever been cross-platform.
Confirm the report that Dark Ages is slated for PlayStation in addition to Xbox and Windows PC, potentially day and date. Microsoft acquired ZeniMax a few years ago, and with it, id Software and the Doom IP. Now, Jez remarked in his Xbox showcase predictions that you might get a glimpse at Microsoft's evolving multi-platform strategy at the show, and this is partially what he was referring to. Some may lament the opportunity Microsoft had to quote-unquote pull Doom away from PlayStation, but id Software was already set up for building multi-platform.
All right, people, I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. All right. All right, let's listen to some more of this shit. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right.
Platform titles in parallel. Doom has always existed on PlayStation, and as with franchises like Fallout and Minecraft, it doesn't make sense to arbitrarily pull it from one of the game's biggest fan bases. The business is selling games to subscriptions like Game Pass, and after all, you can expect...
I think a lot of PlayStation fans are actually Xbox owners, because actually first-person shooters were never Sony's thing. They were always Microsoft's thing. I mean, the original Xbox controller was literally made with trigger buttons. They were shaped like triggers, where Sony's big titles were driving games. This is why their triggers were more like, especially on the PS3, and I think even the PS2, but I think it was more the PS3. Its triggers were actually modeled after car pedals. Pedals, people, pedals. It was the Xbox really that brought the shooter, like made the shooter bigger than ever. The Xbox is what made the shooter big, and the online shooter for sure was innovated and really made mainstream through the Xbox console. They're the ones that really brought online gaming home, you know? And there were the big things with the shooter. Now you got Sony has trigger buttons. I mean, it took them how many consoles? It took them, I think, 5 consoles to get trigger buttons. Or maybe they went triggers on the first trigger buttons they created, I think, were for the PlayStation 4. But the PS5, it's basically jacked the Xbox control, the Xbox One. Even though I do like the PS5 control, the triggers, the haptics in the triggers are nowhere near as good as the Xbox One controllers. They're not as good, people.
Doom: The Dark Ages to join other Doom games on Game Pass as well. You can expect the marketing to have some kind of Xbox slant, along with Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and various other games. Now, here's the thing that I would say. We know that Microsoft was saying that the games the reasons why they bought ZeniMax was, and this is what they said at the roundtable, was to provide exclusive games where Game Pass existed, right? And the funny part to me is the amount of Xbox fans, and I might even have been one of these people that was saying, oh, wait till they get this game out, wait till this game out. It's like, so Doom isn't going to be exclusive, but people still think the next Fallout's going to be exclusive, or the next Elder Scrolls is going to be exclusive. There's no way. So at what particular point is going to be exclusive from the Bethesda deal? Because at the end of the day, Hi-Fi Rush wasn't exclusive, Ghostwire.
Yeah, but dude, they're trying to make money here, people. They're trying to make fucking money. So look, if they're making more money by not making this exclusive, why would they not make it? Why would they make it exclusive? They're making less money. They are a business, aren't they? They're trying to make their fucking money. In the long run, they're going to most likely be selling more Xboxes than the PlayStation is selling PlayStations. This is the idea. At some point, they're going to be selling more consoles because of these moves. And then at that point, they might actually pull these titles from the PlayStation. But for now, they've got to build up. They might put Gears of War and Halo and all that. But at some point in the future, they're going to be able to pull these from Sony and not have to pay them certain fees in order to put it on their platform. But look, if, like I said earlier, if it gets to the point where Sony's selling a lot less consoles, they might have to pay Xbox to put these games on the Sony platform. It'll go the other way around. It won't be Xbox paying Sony. It'll be Sony paying them, possibly, right? Possibly. This is strengthening their ecosystem. What they're doing right now. This is a long plan. This is not short term, right? But they are gonna. They might. This is the short term. Is what they're doing right now. They're putting some of these games on the Sony platform. Right? They're doing that. That's happening. That's it. Get over it. You can still play the game, right? And you're getting it on Game Pass, where you can get it for $10 a month or whatever, right? Sony's not getting that. That's not going to happen. They might opt into that, but for now, they're not gonna. But the plan is that they do want Game Pass on Sony's platform. They do. So if Sony opts into it, that's just going to make them very happy.
Tokyo wasn't exclusive. Deathloop wasn't exclusive. I mean, so far Starfield, I guess. But there's all kinds of rumors that that's going to go to PlayStation as well. So, I mean, to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense at this point to really own an Xbox. And what was the point of the Bethesda buyout, right? What have we gotten from that?
Look at this guy here. He says there's no reason to own. He doesn't see a lot of a point to get an Xbox. Guess what's on Xbox? Game Pass. Guess what's not on PlayStation and the Nintendo console? Game Pass. Now, if you want Game Pass outside of the Xbox, you got to get yourself a PC. If you want to get a PC that's as powerful as an Xbox Series X, it's not going to cost you $400, $500, people. It's going to cost you more than that. Anybody can tell you that, oh, that's not true. They're full of shit. It's going to be a lot more expensive. So, you buy the Xbox Series X. Why? Because it's a pretty fucking great console. I use it for all kinds of stuff. You get backwards compatibility. You could play PS2 games, PS1 games on the Xbox Series X. You could play GameCube games. You can play Wii games. You can play NES games. People, I play all my classic stuff. I'm doing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! You guys saw earlier. I'll show you the chalkboard again. Oh, that just fucked my shit up. Sorry about that. I'm playing the Kung Fu and the Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! On an Xbox Series X. Let me fix this. Hopefully I can fix it. Sorry about that, people. I just fucked that up. Let's go back. Hopefully we can find our place. This guy just kind of rambles. He's sort of dumb like me. I'm playing on the Xbox Series X. Is an amazing console. The PlayStation 5 is really good also. It's great for playing PS4 games mostly. I use it to play PS4 games. The ones I haven't finished, like for example, The Last Guardian, 60 frames on the PS5. It's like 25 frames on the fucking PS4. You got Until Dawn, which is like sub 23 frames per second on the PS4. On the PS5, it's a lock 60. Killzone Shadowfall is sub 40, sub 30 frames on the OG PS4. On the, you can lock it to 30, but on the PS5, Killzone Shadowfall is locked 60 frames per second. All the games that have dynamic resolutions on PS4 games, they all lock to their native resolutions on the PS5. PS5 is a great console for playing PS4 games on. It's amazing. It's amazing. A lot of these PS5 releases, they're going to PC, so I rather play them there. But you know, I do play some of them on the PS5. The PS5 is a great console. It's really good. But the Xbox Series X has so much more value than a PlayStation 5, people. A lot more. And I know if you're jumping from a Series X and Xbox or an Xbox One X to an Xbox Series X, there is a huge difference there. But actually, the resolution wise, the Xbox One X actually had really good resolutions. It can run 4K on almost anything, on everything. The Xbox Series X is just all around. In my book, it's the best console, possibly one of the greatest consoles ever released. For the reasons I just said, it runs original Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One games, and then the Xbox Series X games, and then it's compatible with the Nintendo, with the GameCube, with the Wii, with the Genesis, with the PS1, with the PS2. You play all that stuff, people. It's insane, and it runs them all at 4K, higher frame rates. It's just really an amazing console. So once again, and this all started, this rant I'm going on here, it started with the whole idea where this guy's saying, oh, well, Game Pass, you know, oh, there's no reason to own an Xbox. Well, guess what? You can buy a $500 console, an Xbox Series X, and you get all this value. And then you also get Game Pass on top of it, which also has a ton of value. And Microsoft did this intentionally. They put a developer mode into the Xbox Series X because they wanted people to be able to run these fucking emulators. You think they didn't know people were going to do this? They literally see it when they go on the internet. They're doing it. All right. This allows you to play Xbox games as well. OG Xbox games. Whatever's not compatible is going to eventually be compatible with the Series X because people are making it compatible. All right, can we hear this, guys?
Everything that Obsidian's done has gone multi-plat, Pentiment, and Ground.
Yeah, just like I said earlier, this guy's just crying because everything's going multi-platform. He just doesn't see the value, people. He's just still in that fucking like childhood, like fucking console war. That's what it is.
Is Avowed going to go elsewhere as well? Like realistically, it's very interesting to see kind of what's going on. At this particular point, at the end of the day, I think that it really ruins the showcase, right? To be honest with you. So to me, when I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay.
The exclusive thing, people, is exclusively done to sell consoles in order to make more money. But like I said earlier, if your console's only selling 10 million, 20 million, then you're losing out on the 70 million, 100 million PlayStation owners and the, hundreds and hundreds of millions of PC owners and the billion cell phone owners. So they're spreading it out everywhere. And like I keep saying, like I said a couple of times already, in the end, they're going to have all this extra money where they can pour this into these massive titles and they don't have to worry as much. Like, because a lot of times with new consoles, it's all starting from square one, right? Now you're starting to sell the consoles. So when you put out these really ridiculously high budget titles, the guys that are developing these are like, well, maybe we shouldn't put that system in there and that other one. That's going to take a couple more months. We need to get this out the door already. We're spending a lot of money and the budget's too high. And they're like, oh, well, we can't make the budget too high because, we only have, 5 million consoles sold. And so we're not going to make back our money. We're not going to break even. So again, if they start spreading it all around, it's right off the bat. Boom, it goes out there. It's on the PlayStation. It's on the whatever. So if PlayStation sold 10 million and Xbox sold 8 million or 5 million, or the other way around. Maybe at this point the Xbox has become bigger than Sony. So Xbox has sold 10 million. Sony's got 10 million, 5 million. They're still going to spread it across the different platforms. So they're going to make back their investment and possibly way more. And also when it's in monthly subscriptions, they just keep making money on it. So that's good for the industry. That's not bad. What's bad for the industry is if they just lower the quality of the games, right? Because they think they're just going to keep getting their money because of Game Pass or whatever. But the word of mouth would destroy their ecosystem. Their whole model would be destroyed because people would say, oh, well, they're making trash. So people would unsubscribe. So they're still held to making quality content, right?
Okay, well, what's Microsoft's plan for the future? It's like, I don't know what their plan for the future is, but I do know that stuff like this showcase that they're going to be doing, is honestly one of the ones, and I saw people already starting to say this, The question's always just going to be, is this exclusive, or when is this coming to PlayStation? I think that's going to be the question, and that's a really shitty thing to do to fans, And Phil Spencer.
No, you know what's a shitty thing? You know what's a shitty thing? The fact that you guys asked for, when is this game not going to be exclusive anymore? It's like, maybe you should stop asking yourself that, right? Stop asking yourself that, because it doesn't fucking matter, right? When the next Marvel movie comes out, you don't ask yourself, when is this going to go to Netflix? When is this? It's exclusive to Netflix for now, but when is it going to go to Disney Plus? It's like, you don't give a fuck. Why? Because you're experiencing it anyway. You play it. You got it where it is. Look, if Xbox puts out a fucking crazy console with way better graphics, let's say that you got the PS fucking 6, right? And then you got the new Xbox. And that shit's like, now since they're pulling in all this money, they have the ability to put out a console that's twice as powerful as the PS6. What console are you going to buy these fucking games on? Is it going to be the weaker PlayStation? You think that's going to end? That's not going to end. People are going to be like, damn, that fucking Xbox, they got this huge pool of money. They're able to sell you this crazy piece of hardware. And so for me, if I'm buying a console, if they still have a physical fucking drive in there, I'm going to be buying that Xbox, right? That's what's going to happen. I'm going to buy the more powerful console. Because if I'm not upgrading my PC and they got this fucking crazy console that's got this crazy CPU in it and GPU, and it's like, oh, well, if I do this upgrade on my PC, it's going to be $1,500. But then they're putting out this console and it's $500, and they're subsidizing it through, all this other shit they do. They're always doing these weird things where they could put out $1,000 console and sell it for freaking $400 or $500. Then I probably might go with that console. So that's not going to end, people. That's not going to end. But the games might be on the different platforms. But it creates an interesting an interesting plan for the future when it goes to what console to buy, because they're both going to be playing the same games, but one of them is going to be much more powerful. And when it comes to Microsoft, since they're buying out all these studios, they're going to have this big pool of money that's spread around, because Sony does not want to do this multi-platform stuff. They're trying to, they're dipping their toes in with the PC, but Microsoft's doing it everywhere, people. They're trying to get Sony to put Game Pass in their system. They're doing this everywhere, so they're going to have this extra big pool of money, so they're going to be able to put money into things like new consoles, right? Into a new console, or more like crazy blockbuster games. And those big games that are going to be built for the Xbox, the new more powerful Xbox, they're not going to look as good on the new PlayStation, because Sony didn't have the money to put into it, right? They didn't have money to splurge like that into their hardware. And these guys are going to be able to do that. That's what's going to happen in the future. I have faith that this is going to be a big money maker for them. And this was always their plan. These people are not retarded people to have to keep bringing this up. Here it is. They always wanted Call of Duty on fucking Game Pass. This is why Sony was trying to block it. They were trying to hold them back from doing this. They were trying to make them wait years before they could do this.
Spencer has admitted, like, he did that IGN thing, and I did a video about it, that, hey, this is, we hate having that expectation where fans don't know if games are staying or going. We don't like that. We want things to kind of...
And why do you care, people? Why the fuck do you care? Look, you can go to the PC. You could play Sony games and Xbox games, and you're going to play the best looking versions of them, right? But if you're going to be a simple console gamer, I'll go say it again. The Xbox is the best console in the market. It really is. It really is, people. For all the reasons I told you earlier, it is. And if they continue on with what they're doing right now, they're giving you these free upgrades. Xbox has the PC model. That's what they have. You bought the new piece of hardware, you get the good looking shit, right? You get the better looking stuff. That's what it is. Look, Titanfall 2, I love Titanfall 2. Guess what? On the Xbox, Titanfall 2 runs at 120 frames. It runs at over 4K. It has HDR support. It has higher textures, higher geometry, all of that, right? PlayStation version of it. It has checkerboard 1440p. It has a lock at 60 frames, only 60 frames. It doesn't have the high textures, the high geometry on there. It doesn't. What do you think? Oh, also, if you want to go by they're all talking about haptic feedback. Guess what? The version of Titanfall on the Xbox has haptic feedback. It has what do they call it? It has that very detailed kind of rumbling, what they have on the PlayStation 5, but it's all the rage now. Now they actually talk about it. Well, guess what? The Xbox has had that for like over 10 years. Those triggers in the Xbox One controller are the same as the PlayStation 5 haptics, right? That haptic, that more detailed haptic feedback. They have that in there, and that's on the Xbox version of Titanfall 2. That's in the Xbox version of Call of Duty. That's in tons of games. The Xbox has these haptic features that PlayStation 4 does not have. And by extension, they're also not on the PS5. So Titanfall has these haptic feedbacks that are in that version of it that are not on the PlayStation version at all. They're just not there. It's dead. If you play Titanfall 2 on the PlayStation 4 and you play the port or the upgraded version, the PS4 Pro version on your PS5, there's no feedback at all because those triggers have no feedback and those haptics don't exist in that PS4/PS5 version. So right off the bat, just that game alone has all this shit that the PS5 version doesn't have. And I mean, this is just one example. They have tons of stuff on the Xbox that doesn't exist on the PS5 or PS4. So people, in my book, the Xbox Series X is the best console out right now. PlayStation 5 is great, but it ain't better than Xbox Series X, people. And this coming from a person who owns a fucking ridiculous PC. And that Xbox Series X is sitting on my table right now, right next to my high-end PC. That Series X is a great, amazing system.
Kind of be different. We want to do better for the fans. Like, how many times have they said something like that? And the funny thing is you see the people kind of defend this stuff. Well, I didn't really expect Doom to stay exclusive anyways. Like, listen, guys, The Outer Worlds 2, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, none of that stuff is going to be exclusive to Xbox. When it's all said, I don't even think Gears of War is going to be exclusive to Xbox, unfortunately. I don't know what Microsoft is smoking, but whatever it is, it's something that, fans aren't going to really want. But the sad part is the amount of fans I see defending this stuff. It really doesn't make sense to me. I hope that Microsoft is paying attention. I don't know. I wish the people, the Xbox, quote unquote Xbox fans that are trying to make excuses and be apologists for Xbox, I wish that they would put their energy into fighting back and making Microsoft aware of the mistakes that they're doing. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching. Rack 'em up. Crep Gamer out.
All right, so he says make Microsoft aware of the mistakes they're making. Look, if Microsoft makes tons more money than they would with just making exclusive, do you think they believe it's a mistake? The only way they're going to change is if they're losing money. And that would show them, because this is all a gamble, right? This is all a gamble. So if they're losing money, then they know that they fucked up. And then they'll turn around. But you just telling them, oh, you messed up, when they haven't even gone through with the plan that they're doing, they're not going to give a shit about what you say. They're not. They have a plan. They have. Wait, give me a second. They have a plan, and they're not going to change it till they figure out if it works. This is sort of a test, right? This is a test. But we're going to be getting out of here, people. But I'm going to be back real soon. We're going to be doing our new show. It's called Trust the Science. It's really late over here, people. But I want to thank you all for joining us. Hopefully some people come in and watch this. We are trying to build this channel. This is a growing channel. This is one of the greatest channels of all time. It really is. This is FUTV, the greatest channel known to man. Right, Joe Pesci?
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
It's not a piece of shit, Joe. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You know how hard we work over here to say that shit, Joe? To say that? You know how bad I want to hurt you, Joe. I hurt you. See that guy? You see the nerve of that fucking guy? Isn't he fucking crazy? All right, so she's calling someone up. I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe she has a great ass.
Great ass!
Possibly. He talks shash. Remember to subscribe to FUTV. It is the greatest channel known to man, people. It really is. It's a great fucking channel. It really is. We're turning off all of our screens because we're getting the F out of here. We're closing shop down. But I want to thank you all for joining us. And remember to hit that subscribe button, people. Remember we love you. We really do, people. We really effing do, don't we? All right, till next time, people. See you later.
That was truly more fortuitous, Trini.
Thanks, Billy.
Congratulations, Power Rangers.
My booty hole brown. My booty hole brown. Great ass!